Tune into your radio. This is a heavyweight stadium. Music banging loud through your cranium. This is a heavyweight stadium. Music banging loud through your cranium. This is titanium. You are listening to titanium. This is titanium. You are listening to titanium.
Titanium Radio at Titanium_radio, man. 89.9 QFM. B Davis, DJ QT, Darius behind the camera. We got a very special guest in the building, man. He's been doing it for a long time. My guy, John Dillinger, in the building, man.
What up, bro?
What's going on, man?
Thanks for having me.
Listen, man, it's an honor. When I asked you, I said, yo, you know we doing a radio, like, yo, you want to come through? You said, you looked at me, you gave me a look. You was like, yo, nobody ever asked me to go talk.
Like, I've been doing a lot. No one really asked me to do it.
Yo, you just can't cuss. I want to tell you that before you actually do. But, yeah, why do you think that is?
I don't know.
There's not a lot of podcasts. There's not a lot of radio stations that do what we do. But the ones that do, why do you think they don't call you to talk to you? You have a lot of Connecticut history.
Yeah.
You're a part of a lot of Connecticut history.
A lot of people don't know. Be humble with it.
That's true. We are very quiet.
Yeah.
Very quiet.
Tell people everything I've done and what I'm doing,
But I feel like if you are also a part of the culture, ingrained at a certain level, then you've been through the stew.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's a staple now.
Yeah, it's a staple for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
What like, although you're humble, like, what goes into becoming like a staple in somebody that's like gonna be around regardless?
I mean, you gotta work hard.
Yeah.
You gotta dedicate, like, make it your life for sure. You know what I mean? Like, and then you gotta actually kind of be good a little bit too.
Right.
You know what I mean? But the hard work goes a long way.
Where you from originally? Enfield, right?
Yeah.
Because like born and raised, right?
Yeah.
And you like proudly about, like, you put on other artists from Enfield, like open the studio to Enfield people, like all that type of stuff.
A lot of kids go. It was a lot of those artists that are, grown men now. Like, they came when they was kids, and they just was knocking on the door and just eager to get in the studio.
Yeah.
And open the door to them, and then it got to. I'm like, I'm not recording you. You got to learn this yourself.
Dope.
And then they turned into my engineers, low key too.
Word.
Now they're making money for themselves. I put money in their pocket before they even, like, you don't gotta go to McDonald's. You know what I mean? Even if you get 10 hours this week, you're gonna make like a minimum wage check.
Yeah.
Is that me?
Yeah. No, that's dope.
That ain't me.
Creating opportunities. That's not true?
No.
Oh.
I knew I put mine.
Might be me. Nah, that's dope. So you've been creating opportunities for people in your community, and I think that's fantastic. I thought you was just like kind of like giving them a place to record.
Yeah, well, yeah, low key, but you know what I mean. Like, at first it started as you come in and record, but y'all gotta clean up, y'all gotta do this here. I still do that to this day, even at the warehouse, at my studio in New York. I got a studio in New York too. Like, I always open that door, you know what I mean, and it's like your choice what you're gonna do with it. What a certain amount of time you have until it's like, okay, what are we doing here?
Right. What was like young John Dillinger like
how young?
Like 12, 13 years old.
Started doing things at 12 or 13 years old.
That's why I asked. That's usually the age.
I don't know how, like you said, we can't cuss, but I didn't take it any farther than the green,
Where was music at in that time period for you?
For me, it was, all right, so that's actually the perfect time for when rap was like, took the, like, you kind of like, when you're younger than that, it's usually your parents that listen to this, or
your older siblings, just like their rap.
And then my brother and my parents got divorced when I was 11. My father hated rap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was like, no, he thought Rage Against the Machine was rap. And that's like a hard rock.
Yeah,
so, like,
hard rock.
My brother was like, and then one of the first albums was probably like Jay-Z Volume 2, like Hard Knock Life.
Yep.
But then, like, Christmas, when I was in 7th grade, my brother got me We Are the Streets, Legend of Liquid Swords.
Wow.
What's that 51? Guess Who's Back with him on the cover?
Oh, how did you find that?
I don't know, but
He
I
loved
had
you.
a CD,
He loved you.
bro.
He loved you.
That was my favorite one.
He loved you. Oh man, you just brought me back because, yo, one of my big brothers had the 50 Cent. Guess Who's Back? He came back.
It's like the blue cover.
Yep, he came back from the road one time. He like, just flipped it on the bed one time. You put it in
front to back.
We put it in the stereo, and we never took it out, bro.
Yeah,
like never took it out.
It was the one that would break in there, like for real. All that. Nobody likes me.
Nobody likes me. Nah, that's a fact, man.
Yeah, man.
Classic times, man.
But I also played, like, before that I was playing guitar. So I learned the guitar when I was like 11.
Okay.
So, you know, my mom listened to like Bob Marley. She was like Dave Matthews, like that type, Lenny Kravitz, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
My dad listened to like country music.
Word, man. So was it like finding your, cause I wanted to ask you, like, how did you find your own way in hip hop? You said you had an older brother.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He kind of put you on everything, and then you kind of had the time and the space to listen to it.
Yeah.
And then go from there and kind of find your own.
I can low-key almost pinpoint it because I always loved rap, and then I loved making music. Like, when I started playing guitar, I was always making up chord progressions and melodies, and I was always trying to find like some people who played other instrument. Like I want to do a band.
Yeah.
And none of my boys were out there smoking and stuff. Like, you know what I mean, they weren't worried about that, you know. But I got to a point in high school, I was about to graduate, and I got accepted to University of New Hampshire. My uncle was actually a teacher there, the guitar teacher there, and I got accepted there for music education. I was gonna go be a teacher, but right before, so I got my laptop. I got accepted, and my grandfather's like, I was gonna buy you a computer for college. I'm gonna buy it. I'm like, can you buy it for me now? And it was it was before MacBook. It was an iBook. So it's the white one.
Okay. Oh, because they had colors.
No, before. Well, after that.
Okay.
Not one of those older ones, but it was like just a white box.
Yeah.
And it was an iBook. It didn't have a camera. My roommate, when we got to college, the MacBook came out. He had the one with the camera. And I'm like, damn, I should have waited.
Yeah.
But that's how I started. Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, that's how I started making beats on that.
Okay. I was going to ask you, how'd you start making beats and recording? So the beats came first on GarageBand.
GarageBand. And recording straight into the mic, on the mic that's in the computer, just recording on there, and I thought it sounded good.
Yeah, we all did at that time.
I didn't even rap at first. One of my boys was rapping. Like, he's been rapping since the tape player, like, and on the computer, like the old Microsoft computer on a little thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I forgot we were making beats on PS2. What was the?
There was a game.
Yeah, it was a game you could make beats on there.
What's it called?
MTV Beat Generator. We thought those sounded good.
Yeah. I met a dude in New York one time where I'm like, you a producer? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I'm a producer too. He's like, I want to show you some stuff. He's like, he pulls out his whole PlayStation. He brought it to my crib and pulled out his PlayStation. I'm looking at this dude. Yeah. Like, wait, hold on. He's like, nah, they're real beats though. All right.
Yeah, you had to be there. Like,
No, I was like, at that point, I was like, nah, man. I was like, because I was like Guitar Hero and that. I'm like, nah, man. Now they're doing it with this, but I didn't even really know what beats was. Like, I almost started making beats just because I'm like, oh, this got drums in it. I can make my own drum thing. And then before that, I met y'all know Rome, right? Jerome Clayton, my singer.
Yep.
Yeah. So
he did tracks with Ace. Yep.
Yeah. So my junior year in high school, I was seeing kids like walk around with guitars on their back and stuff, and like at this point I'm heavily into the rap, but I still like love playing the guitar. And my friends at that time were kind of dropping out and like coming out here and you know, like from Enfield doing things they shouldn't. So I'm like, yo, I kind of like veered away from them and kind of got into a different group of friends where we're playing like guitar and stuff. And Rome was actually, when I seen him walking down the hallway with the guitar, I asked him, he's like, it's jazz band. So I'm like, I already was into blues and that, so, and I already know all the chords and stuff. Like I was heavily into all that. So I started playing in the jazz band, and that's how I met Rome. And he's like the illest drummer I've ever met.
Word.
So I was like, with Rome, I'm like, yo, me and him are gonna do something one day. Like,
so that's when
so
you finally found your bandmates.
Yeah, that was my bandmate, but it wasn't. We never turned into a band. It was like then. So like fast forward, I didn't end up going to that college. My best friend passed away. Like his wake was on my graduation day. Like I didn't go to my graduation. I went to his wake. I graduated, but I just didn't go to the thing.
Yeah, my condolences. I know that was crazy.
Yeah, it was, and I was like, man, it started to make me think about life. I'm like, I don't want to be a music teacher. Like, what the hell?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know? So I went up there though for like one semester, and I just was like, nah. I started looking up like production schools and stuff like that, because like I was like, I don't want to just not go to college, and I didn't want to go be a carpenter like my dad. You know what I mean? I wanted to do what I wanted, like what I loved.
Right.
So I
You did.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. That's that. You press the edit button.
Yeah. I came back and I started working. I did go work for my dad, and I made some money, stacked some money up, and then I found a school in New York, Institute of Audio Research.
Word.
And, I went there. It was like a 9-month program, and then after that, like, got an internship. I actually got an internship at Diddy studio. It's called Daddy's House.
No, he put like, no, you could have just said I got an internship at Daddy's House, and we would have known exactly what you were talking about.
But people be like, Daddy's House, what the heck?
Exactly.
You know?
No, in these times, 2025, you got to say, I actually got an internship with Puff Daddy.
Yeah.
And his studio was called Daddy's House.
Yeah. Like, I didn't call him Daddy.
Yeah, we weren't at Daddy's house.
No,
yeah, no, I get it. How was that experience though? Were you ever in a session with Diddy?
I had like 2 interactions with him, really. Like they would always tell you, like, don't even say hi to him. Like if he says hi to you, say hi, but like don't like go out your way to go talk to him. Like he's in the zone. Like he'll tell you get out and never come back. Like they made it worse than it seemed worse than it was though. Yeah. Because then when I had these interactions with him, like they tell you, if he tells you to play the song and you take 2 seconds instead of 1 second to press space, he's gonna kick you out. Like, but he's probably done it before, but he probably just didn't like the person.
Right.
It was G-Dep. G-Dep shows up to the studio. This was probably like 2009 or 2010. G-Dep shows up to the studio, and he's all messed up, like on the black stuff. He's like going, and Puff gives him like $500. He's like, yo, go get some food. Da, da, da. He gives it to his boy to go get the food. He comes back with like 5 cheeseburgers and no change. And G-Dep looking at him like, but he's like, anybody got their own setup, like a interface and stuff? And I always had my big white laptop and my interface. I had the M Audio interface, like, or the DigiDesign M-Box 2, and my mic. And then he's like set up in the lounge, and we set up in there, and that was a crazy story because G-Dep is like, he listens to the beat one time and then he just sits there for 10 minutes. He's like, and I'm like, you want to hear the beat again? He's like, no. And just sits there for 10 minutes in silence. And then he's like, all right. And then I pressed record, and he recorded like 32 bars straight,
out of here.
Like, it was crazy.
And he's flowing, like hitting the pockets, everything.
Yeah, it was
G-Dep
hard.
flow.
It was hard. Yeah. Like I'm like, because I knew who G-Dep was, and I'm recording this dude. I'm like, oh, this is crazy. But then Puff comes in, like he was done. So he just did one take, and then he sat there. He's like, all right, get Puff. So I'm like, all right. I told the receptionist to call him in, and he comes in. He's like, all right, let me hear it. I go to press space, and I get the beach ball of death. You know.
Ooh, it just starts spinning.
Yeah,
that's when your laptop, you got any type of Apple product, iMac or whatever, it just starts spinning.
Yeah,
it's buffering.
It's like looks like a beach ball spinning. And I'm like, I start panicking. I'm like, oh, he's gonna kick me out. And he sees me panicking. He's like, yo, what's your name? I'm like, John. He's like, yo, chill out, man. He's like, restart it. And so I restarted it, and he sat there with me for like 5 minutes while I restarted because it was an old laptop. And he listened to it, and he's like, do 3 more.
How was that? Was that the longest 5 minutes of your life sitting there with Puff waiting for your laptop to restart?
Low-key, I was like, well, no, I was relieved because I thought he was gonna be mad or something. But he was like, nah, he was cool. You know what I mean? And then there was only one other time. It was like I was working with this producer, and it was the producer's birthday, and they tell you like you can't be smoking or drinking around pub. Like if he sees you doing that and you're an intern, he's gonna tell you, like he's gonna tell somebody that's gonna kick, or like, you know what I mean. So he's in there and they're taking shots for his birthday, and for the producer's birthday, his guy Rob Holiday, he did like the Ray J Sexy Can I, and like he was Hitmaker's like cousin there.
Word.
Like, but he I'm like, he's like, John, take a shot. I'm like, nah, I'm like, I can't. He's like, yo, take a shot. I'm like, nah. And then Puff sees him like kind of like bullying me, like, yo, take this shot. And then Puff comes over and grabs him, and he heard him call him my name, and Puff grabs him and he's like, yo, don't let this man bully you. He's like, but you could take the shot if you want. And then we all took a shot.
Word.
You know what I mean? But it was like, you know what I mean? I never seen nothing weird, but a lot of industry people are like, you know, there's just weirdos everywhere, you know what I mean?
That is a fact. You have any? You made beats for Chinx Drugs, correct?
Yeah, Chinx Drugs.
Were you in the studio with them?
Nah, so that was a funny story too. Like I used to listen to a lot of Stack Bundles, and I would always hear him just say Chinx Drugs. I didn't know who he was, and then one day I seen somebody named Chinx Drugs on Facebook, and it was before when people wouldn't really like steal people's names and stuff like that. It was like, and I seen his pictures, and like I'm like, oh, this is really him. Probably he made this before he went to jail or something. But I DM'd him on Facebook and asked him for an email, and he gave me his email, and I just started emailing him beats.
Wow.
And that beat actually, I might have sent it to him, but I sent it to Bino. And it was on their computer in the studio. And I guess Bino told me the story. He's like, Chinx was just going through like random beats on the computer, and that was the one. And Bino had already made a song to it. But then Bino sent me a video of like the song playing on iTunes, just on his phone, with French's verse.
Word.
And I'm like, and he also said, he's like, yeah, they want to get ASAP Rocky on the remix or something.
What was the name of the song?
Feelings.
Oh.
Give up.
Yeah.
About your feelings.
Yeah, that's not just any record.
Yeah.
That's one of his biggest
crazy
records.
Yeah, I still get a little BMI check every couple months.
Yeah. No, that
crazy.
That song used to ring off in the clubs. Like, what was your reaction when you heard what they did with it?
It was crazy. I mean, I started the beat with the verse, and they just left the whole, like, basically verse of this, like the build up to it, like as the intro. So I'm like, I was like, at first when I heard it, I'm like, oh, why didn't he just start rapping right away? Like, he should have just came in with the first verse, like. But nah, I was just hyped.
Yeah.
He was my favorite rapper.
And I feel like the builds up for the hook. Right?
Yeah.
Isn't it come in like
it builds up to the hook is big.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. It's almost like
yeah.
He wants to tell the world how much he doesn't care.
Yeah, exactly. It was ironic because it's like a lot of the things that happen around that time is like, yo, no one cares about your feelings in this music and sports and whatever you're doing. Like if you're here to do a job, like no one, like, or if it's business, like no one cares about your feelings.
What was it like for John Dillinger after the Chinx Drugs Feelings record comes out, and you know now you got your name attached to something that's successful, moving around in the culture?
I should have went more crazy than I did. Like looking back,
What you mean?
I should have been in New York more. Really. I should have been out in the city like every weekend because my boys were in the club in New York. Like, yo, if you were here right now, like you could just walk up to the DJ booth and tell them you made this beat and you're lit. Like, and I'm like, damn. And like they would be like, this DJ just ran this back like 5 times once. Like, I'm like, oh my god. And I'm like, I'm gonna go next week. And it was like, and then it just like, you know, I mean, I went a couple times, but it's like it's more so about like, yeah, you could be in the right place at the right time, but you got to make sure you're in that place as much as you can be,
right? So
it's the right time.
Absolutely.
Like you could be that one night where you're like, yo, I'm tired, I'm gonna just chill. Like that was the night it could have happened.
Yeah.
After that, it was even crazy. Like I have a crazy story. People don't even believe that this is true. So, Chinx, right after that song he signed a deal And he called me. He's like, yo, come to the city. You got a car? So I'm like, I came to the city. He's like, we went to, he's like, yo, follow. I was waiting for him for like an hour to come out of this meeting. And he's like, yo, follow these cars. There was like 2 Rolls Royces, and he was in one of them with French. Then we went to that Mr. Chow's place, or Felipe Chow's, and we're eating there, and it's me, French, and like 2 executives or whatever. And then these 2 white guys walk by, and French is like, yo, where's Future? It was like Future's bodyguards or something, and Future was outside waiting for Sierra to come out.
Wow.
This is how long ago that Sierra and Future were together. So French invited Future back to his crib in New Jersey, and they're like, yo, Chinx is like, yo, you know how to record? I'm like, hell yeah, I know how to record. And so he's like, all right, we're about to go to French's house, and Future's about to do something. And so it was like, we on our way back to this is a whole side note. He's like, we just gotta go pick up these girls before we go to New Jersey. Down come from the hotel, Erica Mena and Sin Santana. Remember them back then?
Of course.
So they hop into, I'm driving. Now he's like, we switched, I'm in my boy's Honda because my car's messed up right now. He's like, yo, let's get the other car because this car's crazy. He's like, he pulls out this Altima. It's like a white Altima, but he's like, yeah, this is my baby mother's brother's cousins or something. He's like, said something, but he's like, can you drive this? I'm like, all right. So I'm driving the car, whatever. We go to French's house. I'll make it quick too. I don't want to like take too long on this.
This is a great story.
Yeah,
this is a great story.
Yeah. So we're driving out there to New Jersey, whatever, and the Erica man is like asking me if I have.
So just to be clear, hold on, just to be clear, right? In the car with you, you driving.
I'm driving.
You got Chinx Drugs
to my right.
A passenger.
Yeah.
French Montana in the back.
No.
Not French is not there?
No, not in the Altima. French is on his way over there, and he's in like a Rolls Royce.
Got
or
you.
A Bentley
So in the back seat is Sin Santana
and Erica Mena.
Yeah. And they were together at the time.
They were like dating.
Yeah, they were dating on the show at the time.
Yeah, so they're like, even at the end of the story, I'll tell you that. But so we go to French's house. We're in there. I'm pulling up. I'm making my template on Pro Tools because I'm like, oh, I'm about to record Future in French. I'm like, oh, I'm making my template. I'm trying to make it sound. I'm like, yo, Future's going to hear his voice and be like, yo, you're coming with me. Like, I'm trying to make it like that. So I get it all made. It takes me like 5 minutes. You know what I mean? I knew I had to be quick because they're like, they want to record. But the beat that I've had pulled up and they're listening to is a Mike Will Made It beat. At that, I had it on one of my hard drives to this day, but it's long gone now. But not to this day then. But so Future hops in the booth. He's got a hook ready to go. He's like, yo, I can't hear the headphones. I'm like, what? I'm like, and it's like a big board and stuff. There's a lot of stuff, but I'm like pretty familiar with everything. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, what the heck? And I'm like trying everything. I'm just starting to turn everything. I'm like, I don't know if there's an amplifier that needs to be on or what. Yeah. Can't figure it out. I called one of my boys who was actually an engineer at Puff Studio. And now at this point, that's another side note. I used to bump Matt French up in Puff Studio, and then fucking right as they left, he signed him. It was weird, but like you saying you kind of influenced that? Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. Maybe I just played it in the wall. Maybe it was in the walls. You know what I mean, a little bit. But whatever. Future goes in the booth and you can't hear the headphones. I'm trying everything, calling people. I can't figure it out, bro. And French gets pissed. He like Future's like, yeah, I gotta go. Future left. I had to go move the Altima to let Future out, so I had to walk the walk of shame down there. And like I'm like, should I say something to them? Like, should I like get an email, something? But I'm like, nah, I can't. Like, I just messed up. Yeah. Like, and I don't want to like Chinx to think I'm like trying to, you know what I mean? So I should have, looking back on it, I definitely should have got his manager's email. His manager's email at the least bit. But at that point, you already kind of messed up. Yeah. So first impression is everything. Yeah, and but still, you could have shot your shot. The driveway is icy as heck, so I'm like, I moved the car a little bit and it starts rolling towards their car. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like going crazy. Like, so I go back up and like French is he's mad. He's like just sitting in the other room, and he's trying to get at Sin, and then Chinx was talking to Erica, But I just played him and French's brother Zach beats all night, and like I couldn't figure it out. And then side note, like 5 years later, I'm in another studio and it's the same thing. And then the engineer's like, yeah, you gotta go to the output. So like there's different outputs. So the outputs for the speakers are 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So I built my own template and everything's going out 1 and 2. But the headphone output is 3 and 4.
Got you.
So you could put like a different master track with the output 3 and 4, so you could control the volume different. But what they really were doing was you put a send on the beat, so you can turn up the beat and put a send on the vocals. You could like control the vocals and the beat, loudness in their headphones, like right on the spot without disrupting what you're hearing out here. So I was like, oh, that's what it was. I'm like, damn,
man.
And he had like an intern in there with him or something. He's like, oh, Little Dirk was in here a couple of days ago. It was working fine. I'm like, damn, I don't know what it was. But yeah, I'm like, I was like,
that your last
that could have been a
time?
life-changing moment.
Absolutely.
I feel like, you know what I mean?
Quite possibly. Quite possibly. Was that your last time working with Chinx in French?
Before he passed, Chinx, like, but not my last time working with him. I actually got a placement on. He had a couple albums come out last year, and I got one on there.
Oh, word.
Yeah, it was called. Actually, the dude Bino I was talking about. It's Chinx, Bino, and K2Gs. He's the other dude in Riot Squad.
Yeah, that's.
It's called Still Down. Chinx Still Down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's historic, man. Chinx Drugs is definitely one of my favorite rappers, man.
Yeah, man, that was crazy. I was sending him like one time he emailed me and was like, "Don't send this beat to anybody. French is gonna use it for a single." Never heard nothing.
What beat?
It was I know what the beat is because
Yeah.
I like kept it to the side and I'm always waiting for that like email back or something. But they must have remade it. Honestly, I feel like a couple probably got remade, like that I gave them like.
Yeah. So fast forward, you engineer and you producer, you running your own studio.
Yeah.
Being a producer and the engineer, recording people to keep the lights on is such a strenuous, time-consuming operation.
Yeah.
How did you stick with it to build your name and become a staple out here?
I mean,
do you enjoy recording people?
I enjoy making music. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily enjoy recording people.
Okay, because it's two different things.
Yeah.
It's two different things.
So like people, you want to come pull up a YouTube beat or something and just, punch in and or make up a song on the spot that to a YouTube beat. If we're making a beat together, that's a different story. But I don't like if you got everything prepared and you're just gonna come in and just boom, boom, boom. Yeah, all right, let's go. But lately it's just punching in and it's like just redundant, same stuff. So it's like it's not
You sound jaded at this point.
With that, but I'm like, I love getting in the studio with an artist and like finding their sound with them.
Right.
Like, yo, I write. I'm an artist as well.
Yeah.
So like I help write. I do everything.
Yeah. Because I just look at my boy. I don't even want to put no names on. I just look at my boys and I look at the hustle, the grind that they got to go through to record artists.
It's a lot.
It is a lot, man.
Well, it's a lot psychologically too. I was with somebody the other day, and like I told you, I be doing other stuff too. I got other businesses with one of my workers, and I'm driving around, and they be hearing me talk to like the studio clients, and they be like, "Man, some way some of these guys talk to you. I don't know how you deal with it, man."
Yeah.
I'm like, you just gotta kind of be a psychologist sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, certain people are gonna act a certain way, you know what I mean? And sometimes it's just your perspective too, like, that's just how they are. That's just how they talk. Like, disrespectful is one thing, you know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna, like, your tone of, or like, just because you're urgent about something, like, this thing means the world to you, as it should. So you're gonna be a little urgent. Like, don't, like, get disrespectful. Like, if I got something going on with my family and you're like, I don't care. You're like, no, like, you gotta be understanding, because if it was so important to you, you would have this planned out and know what you want to do, when you want to do it. And it's not, everything can't be last minute. Like, a lot of people, that's the one thing. Like, now lately, if people hit me and they want the session that day, I'm like, honestly, like my engineers ain't there as much. Like they're not just hanging, especially in the wintertime. It be getting cold in the studios sometimes. You know, we don't got the heat blasting. We gotta pay the heat ain't included in the rent.
Yeah, you talked about crafting particular sounds with artists throughout the years. Who've been some of your artists, your favorite artists that you work with and collaborated with?
So I've like I got my, like we spoke earlier, like my young boys who I started with from the gate. Like I got Doran Pierre, Stevie Max, I got Jerome Clayton. I got like more recently I've been doing a lot of stuff with Don Zio. I felt like we've kind of molded his sound a little bit into like, you know what I mean? He just does a lot of different stuff anyway. So it's like, but when he's with me, I try to keep it musical as we can, you know what I mean? And like just explore different options with the sound. But I mean, even I just did a song with Alon Don that was pretty dope. I want to get back in the studio with him. I actually was in the studio with Serrani last year. Word. I got like 7 songs with Serrani that we've produced, and
that's dope.
Yeah, that's what when you were saying some like send stuff, I would get in trouble. Like not in trouble, but he'd be like, he probably wouldn't even know.
Oh, okay. Nah, he wouldn't know. He might have some cousins out here though. Serrani might have a cousin out here in the north end, man. He might have a little shorty or something. I don't know.
I be telling him come out here. He be coming out here for shows.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, next time he's out here for a show, I'm gonna get him in the studio. But back there, we was in New Jersey with it. But
yo, so you mentioned other businesses. You got the Warehouse 860.
Yeah, Warehouse 860.
Explain to the people that may not be in tune, what exactly is the Warehouse?
So it's basically your haven if you're a content creator, you're an artist, you're a videographer, photographer, engineer, producer, all that. You know, we got it. We appeal to all that. We got a couple studios in there. We actually 3 studios, recording studios.
Nice studios too.
Yeah. Actually, we got a couple. One I'm trying to rent out right now. Any engineers or producers that are looking for their own space, like we got good rates, and it's a community. You know, we try to be like tight knit, even if you don't know, like you be able to knock on a door and talk to the next guy and just build. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But we got the video space. We got a little bar and kitchen in there. Any chefs or anything trying to do some plates on the weekend and they need a spot, you know what I mean? But we do events. We got an event tomorrow night. Friday, plug and play, 7 o'clock. You come pay $10 at the door and you can perform your song. It's kind of a way for artists to just test out the waters with new songs and stuff. You know what I mean? But we're trying to get back to more events like that too.
Nah, that's dope, and it's like grassroots.
Yeah,
it's definitely grassroots. Like, I mean, you've kind of gone through the ranks of just different perspectives, from kind of putting your own setup together to going to school, meeting people, industry experience.
Yeah.
What's your outlook on CT music culture in 2025?
I think it's getting better and better each year. I ain't gonna say, like, I think that people are, I mean, partly it's probably social media is helping a little bit, just because, like, you can get lit. You can be in Arkansas and get lit, like, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I feel like we gotta kind of, I don't want to say we gotta, because you don't need to have a sound just for the town, you know what I mean? Like, right. But find your sound as an artist, like there's artists from all over the world that are all over the country that you would be like, oh, that person's from there,
right?
You know what I mean? So that could be you. Like,
do you think Connecticut has a sound?
Have to be Detroit, you know?
You think Connecticut has a sound?
I mean, if you would say that, I think that like the Yanks sound, I guess, would be the closest thing to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's kind of just a drum rhythm. I get like a tempo and a
right.
drum pattern, and you know, that's what all beats are, is tempo and drum pattern. And the tempo can be the same, but the drum pattern can switch low key. Like a dance hall beat is 100 BPM.
Facts.
And those like Detroit beats 100 BPM. A Yank beat can be around 100 BPM. Like,
yeah.
So I mean, It's about making good music, man.
More than anything else, right?
Yeah, like, who are they gonna want to listen to this 5 years from now or 5 months from now? 5 days from now?
I was gonna say 5 days from now. 5 days from now.
Right?
Man.
That's how it be now. Especially, it's just kind of just TikTok brain.
Yeah,
everything's TikTok brain.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, even the creative process of rap has changed so drastically than 20 years ago.
Yeah,
when you know, or even a little bit before that, when you got Volume 2. You know what I'm saying? Like the process is
even the feeling of it, like like the feeling of when Illmatic or not Stillmatic and Blueprint came out. Remember, like just when those, like, you get the CD
and we had to wait for things.
It's different.
Like we had to wait 6 months for Ether. It just didn't happen like the next 15 minutes later.
Yeah, like this Drake and Kendrick stuff.
Yeah, we had to wait
because it wouldn't have got to the masses like that.
Right,
it would have just been a freestyle.
It would have been a mixtape. Yeah, exactly, on Clue, on a Clue tape.
Yeah,
it would have been for us. And I kind of enjoy when hip hop was for us. Yeah, it's a lot of like opinions and perspectives on very hip hop things that I think make it like corny.
What about this Fat Joe situation? How do you feel about, like, I feel like people are kind of bullying him. They don't really know his history a little bit.
That's what I'm saying. Like Fat Joe,
he's got pictures next to, like, sitting in a suit next to Big Pun. Like,
right.
What are you talking
sitting
about?
next to Big Pun.
This guy's a legend. Basically, he just made it.
Stories in every decade of hip hop.
Yeah.
He wrote graffiti.
That last track I just heard on the radio, that was pretty whack.
Oh yeah, with the Spanish sample.
Oh my God, what the?
We talked about that. We and Q talked about that.
Yo.
But that's his bread and butter. I feel like that's a part of his bread and butter to get on the radio.
Yeah, but it's like, how much money are you paying at that point? Because this song.
This is true. These are great questions to ask.
Be wasting some money.
I think so, and I think he has a good thing going with his whole social media persona. He doesn't even need to be on the radio anymore.
Right. He's got to take the formula of like the other older rappers, or I was funny we say that because I was just on the phone with one of my boys from the city. He's a Dominican dude, and he's like, and he brought that up, but that's why that's why it was on my mind. And he's like, I low-key forgot where I was going with it, but he wants to start like a Spanish, like kind of like the hair, like, I don't know. I can't even.
Yo, I think it's weird, man, because I know that Spanish people were a part of hip hop from the beginning. I know that. Is hip hop a black thing? Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't know. My question is, like, why don't we see more white people doing like reggaeton?
Yeah.
Right? Like, why do white people have to rap?
I guess because if you have to, like, you have to speak Spanish probably to do reggaeton.
But Justin Bieber did a Spanish song, right?
If you like, if you're just saying English lyrics over a reggaeton beat like a reggaeton artist,
but it's like,
hey, that shit might be a hit right there.
Yeah. But it's I feel like yo, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
mean, it's always been like that,
And then that's why I'm asking why. Why?
Even before rap, it was like,
right.
Like, look at Elvis.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's like, I guess you know.
Is it just like low hanging fruit for white people to just be like, nah, I'm gonna do what they do, but not what they do?
I mean, but it's
is it too far off to, like?
In a way, it's almost like you pull inspiration from where you pull it from at the end of the day. So it's like, you know what I mean? Who was the first person to do I don't know, you know what I mean? It's like, who was first? Does it really matter? Sometimes the who was first gets drowned out.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then with hip hop, it's like we sample so much of different genres of music.
It's kind of that
it'll kind of be like contradictory for me, someone that is a product of hip hop, to be like, nah, you can't do it. When I done took.
Or you can't sample that beat. You can't sample that.
Exactly. We take everything, we sample everything, we remix everything.
Yeah.
And we don't care as long as it's hot. As long as it's hot.
I get it a lot. Like, or usually my baby mother, when they're mad at me, they'll say stuff like that, like, "Oh, you're a white dude doing it." You know what I mean? But
but you actually have talent and skill.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like that is a major difference, and I feel like that's in our culture, that's kind of all that matters is if you dope.
I look at music more like I said kind of earlier, like it's almost like tempos and rhythms. Like at the end of the day, you can kind of interchange the rest. The rest could be interchanged like with anything. Like so, if you got like you're doing this tempo and this rhythm, like and certain rhythms are even same rhythms for different genres.
Right.
Like polka is almost like reggaeton. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like so. It's like I don't know. Like you can. I've always been kind of fascinated with that kind of morphing stuff and blending it together.
That's what real. I feel like that's what talented producers do. Are able to do.
Yeah.
Just take something from this part of the world for these people, and then craft it in a way.
Yeah.
Whereas for these people
or
in
like
this part of the world,
these two genres together. I like doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like hip hop is just a cool beat. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like just the drum, like a boom bap. I fell in love with rap when it was boom bap. So and I didn't like. Actually, being at Puff Studio kind of opened my eyes more to like, oh, he's getting money like that because he was doing that Last Train to Paris album,
very R&B,
pop and R&B. Like, I could do that too. Like I like music. Why not? I'll do anything.
I mean, I feel like once you have a background with an instrument, it gives you a head start.
Sense.
It gives you like
exactly.
You up by 20 at that point.
Yeah, that's how I was. I mean, at first. The music is different now. It's like you need the best loops.
Yeah,
you need the plug to the best loop maker.
I was when I started making beats last year, I realized that. I said, "Yo,
they're all loops. These guys are using,
and they don't. It's not the same as like I know we getting deep in the hip hop weeds, but it's not the same as in the 80s, the 90s, where even if you sampled a beat, you had to go dig through the crates.
Yeah, and not only that, you had to have an MPC.
Right.
Or or another, whatever, the SR.
Nowadays, you can outsource your digging in the crates to somebody in Australia who's looking for samples all day, and then you just pay him, and he'll give you a batch of samples that are already dope, already cut,
if you're looking for samples, I got a dope site. It's called samplet.io. Samplet, it ends like cassette, so sample TT.
Are they free or is it?
It's on YouTube. It's it just filters through YouTube like crazy old like abstract stuff. Like, and it's like samplet.io.
Yeah,
you can even like filter out stuff, but it's really cool. Every time I go on there, I find a dope sample.
I'm gonna check it out.
That's why I always love sampling. Even though I play guitar, when I first started making beats, playing guitar on beats wasn't cool. Like being if you add it in there,
especially because you white.
Yeah,
like people expecting that.
Like, oh yeah, exactly. There's a couple. There was another white dude producer who played guitar, and he was just like everything was guitar, and it all sounded the same. Like if I was adding in guitar, it was for like the effect to like make it blend in, and it wasn't a centerpiece of the beats. You know what I mean? I would even play some guitar over samples sometimes, but I was doing a lot of heavy sampling, and I would just go on like YouTube and I found this stuff called krot rock. It was like some like Russian rock or something.
Man.
It was like some.
Yo,
it was
when you start digging through, I think one time I was digging, I put on like I don't remember what I searched. You remember you was there? I searched. Yeah, it was like Irish. It was I just put two things together.
And then you can go down a wormhole.
Yeah, it was what?
Was it Irish rap?
Nah, it was like it was like Irish jazz or something like that, right? Something crazy, something that you wouldn't even think. Like, yo, they got jazz over there.
That's crazy.
It's like Irish something, but yeah, they had some joints I was able to find.
That's how it is.
Nah,
and then those ones they won't even know. Like, so it's like you
swear to God.
I remember that one like that. Were you there when Bass did that song over the beat I did that has no drums? The one he did at the Cosmic Kev freestyle.
Yeah. Yeah,
that beat is
you
great.
did that beat?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I did that beat for him, but it's not even. I mean, it's kind of cheating because I didn't even add nothing to it.
Yeah,
I just found the sample and I looped it.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
if the sample is hot enough nowadays, you don't even need it.
It was like one of them Jay-Z, moves like, or what's that? No ID or whatever.
Yeah,
like.
Yeah, and I feel like Griselda kind of
a little bit.
Yeah, that's all. That's kind of sometimes what you need to do. Griselda made a whole genre where you could have drumless beats.
Yeah.
And I feel like
Ghostface used to do that. Or Ghostface, la 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 means I love you.
Yeah, well, it's just a sample, just a sample. Yeah, just a sample.
that was one of the dopest ones, but it's like there's no beat in it. It's just a song. He's rapping over it. But.
Yeah. Oh man, yo, John Dillinger, we could talk hip hop all day, all night, man.
Yeah,
we
man.
appreciate you.
Appreciate
Pioneer
you,
out here, man, holding it down for years.
Yeah, man. Anyone holler at me, man. You get to work, you know.
Facts, man. Q, can we ride out to feelings? Rest in peace, Chinx Drugs, man.
Definitely. Everyone locked up that's listening, you know, my boy Hack, Free Hack, but yeah, everyone, you know, stand out. We got opportunities for you when you get out too in the studio or whatever you need.
Facts, man. That's a blessing, man. It's always great to be able to give back to your community and be somebody that, you know, they could call on when they need a job or something like that.
Yep.
Titanium Radio. John Dillinger, we appreciate you, man.
Tune into your radio. This a heavyweight stadium. Music banging